And welcome back to another Sunday edition of the Rockhound Channel. My name's William, and on today's episode, we're finally getting back over here to our mill table and getting to the last bits of all of our collections since we started this huge adventure. So please don't go away. But before we get started over here, I'd like to congratulate our almost 300 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in every Sunday right here on the Rockhound Channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, last weekend was my wife's and my 15-year anniversary. And on top of that was my wife's birthday. So, double the celebration. It doesn't mean we weren't doing anything down here the weekend. No. I had Brandon over here on that mill table working his tail off. And I'm going to show you just what he found in just a minute. So, guys, as you can see here, Brando was super busy. And he ended up with a bunch of beautiful gold sitting here in the edge of our pan. And that's not all. He turned around and gave me a call while I was out of town in the Dells. And I've got a snuffer bottle that's absolutely loaded with little bits. We'll be doing that at the end of the episode. So please do not go away, guys. We're going to do a full-on reveal of all the gold here in just a minute. All right, you guys, we got that mill table fired up. As you guys can see over here in our far corner, we have just a little bit left. And I guarantee you didn't get all the goodies that are sitting up in there. I've seen some really decent stuff sitting at the bottom of this. So we're going to go ahead and tackle this and see what we get. So again, once we're all finished here, we're still doing this at a 1/4 teaspoon. I may move this up to a half just to be sure that we get down to this stuff real fast. Like we're going to put our first one in. And already, I'm going to zoom you in. I see one. Wished I was kidding. I'm not. Let me get you up in here. Trying to fight with the camera phone. If I could just zoom you back in. And if the light will let me. It is sitting right here, and it's a beautiful chunk, so we're going to grab that up with our snuffer bottle. I knew there was a lot more sitting in here. All right, well, there's a bunch more that was sitting there too, so not too bad. Sitting up here in our snuffer bottle. Let's keep going. So just little bits. That's all I'm doing in there. Now I'm still sitting here thinking about maybe setting up what's sitting at the bottom of our recovery tote into certain small pay dirt bags for our awesome subscribers as a way to thank you. We're going to probably do a raffle here if we reach our 500 subscriber goal. Once again, if you're new to this channel, you see that button down there? Go ahead and hit that subscription button. Make sure you hit the notification button. Leave us a like today if this video gets over 500 likes. Guys, that spreads us out through the entire YouTube universe. So please be sure to subscribe today. Oh, that's in there. Oh, I see a big chunky in there too. Wow, that's one of the big ones. That is insane. We've already got quite a bit sitting up in 2 pans already. And I've got a third one, a green guy, that I showed you guys in a previous episode. That was from our first maiden run through the mill table. That's going to be also added to those said pay dirt bags. And I can tell you right now, I guarantee that there's probably some loss that's happening here, and it is all going out there into our recovery tank. But all of our heavies are sitting here nice and tight. This is your first episode watching. This is our home-built mill table from scratch, all made out of the Reef store. If you guys got one of those around you, that's where all these materials came from. The plumbing, the whole bit. So The only thing that I purchased out of this was the Micromat, as in the major purchase. Otherwise, all this stuff was basically scraps from gutters and whatnot and trim. A little bit of glue, a little bit of love, and it all came together. All right. So here's the deal. I'm going to keep hammering away at this. And when I get down to the last bits of this pan today, we're going to go ahead and show you everything in the final cleanup of everything we have collected since the beginning of our adventure. So please, don't go away. All right, we're really kicking tail over here on our pan, and we have already snuffered out of here probably around 20 plus pieces. It's been roughly about 18 or so minutes since the last cut, and I'm very, very impressed with how well our mill table is just capturing everything. It's just sticking up here in that first 1.5 feet of our mill table. So once again, our dimensions on this booger is 4.5 inches wide by 4 feet long, and it is an absolute workhorse. We're running this off of two 18-volt batteries, lithiums, just your standard drill batteries, and it runs roughly about an hour, hour and a half with a decent charge. So not too bad for a little home unit. Once again, this might be a late episode. It's going to be probably airing around 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. We are currently dealing with a blizzard. I'll show you that here in the upper part of your screen. Wisconsin is just getting mollywopped with a massive blizzard. I think they call it Blizzard Elsa. Yeah, the Disney character from Frozen, Elsa. Don't know why they come up with these names, but they do. But yeah, she's being a very naughty girl out there. She is just absolutely pummeling us. And yeah, it sucks. I actually had planned for this weekend a big outing. I was going to go ahead, get out there once again to our Wisconsin River and hit 3 new locations that I had spotted out on Google Earth just to see what potential there was of maybe some decent shiny sitting up in there. Well, now we got to wait until all this goes away and our temperatures warm back up once again. So stay tuned, guys. That's definitely some episodes you don't want to miss. Be sure to subscribe today. I also want to go ahead and reiterate to some of my older subscribers, if you've seen through the archives, we went ahead and deleted 2 of our episodes. And there's a very perfect reason for that. Once again, I have to strictly remind everybody on my channel to please check out your local rules and regulations before you do anything of this such. Even so much as taking out a gold pan somewhere. You definitely want to be sure to check out your local DNR or your BLM websites. That's the Bureau of Land Management. Make certain that you are able to go out there and do a little bit of this prospecting. So please be sure to do that for me and for everybody out there. Let's do it right. Let's do it safe and do it smart. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost to the end of our gold pan, which is amazing because there is just a ton sitting up here in this beautiful mill table, and I'm talking about that first 1.5 feet, guys, so it's incredible. So I'm going to turn around, shut this down, get this cleaned up before we lose it, right, guys? So that's what we're going to do here, and then we're going to get started back up right away. So as you guys can see there, this is our official 3rd run, and wow, is there some beautiful gold sitting up in there. We got lots to do, and boy, do I have my work cut out cleaning all this up. Let's get back at that mill table. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have absolutely been killing it over here. I want to show you my progress. We are finally down to the little bit. And let me tell you, there's a ton of it sitting in there. There's a ton sitting down here into our mill table. Let's get our last bits up in there, shall we? Oh yeah, just a ton sitting up in that green pan, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot simply wait to see the rest of this. I know there's good stuff sitting in here. As a matter of fact, I see one sitting right there, big old flake, sitting up on just the corner there. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. Yeah, roughly about 18 minutes or so. I've been really pounding hard on this. Still stayed with that 1/4 teaspoon. Good reason. I wanted to make certain I got every speck sitting up here in our mill table. So, as you guys can see there, we're finally down to the point where I'm just going to carefully dribble that down into the mill table mat, and let's see what we get. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got everything all finally in our mill table. Everything's all set up, and we still have yet to figure out what Brando captured last weekend. It's sitting up here in the snuffer bottle. I can tell you when I got done putting that all up in here, there's like 3 or 4 big old flakes just sitting right here at the top, stuck like glue. That's great. So I'm going to let this run for roughly about a minute, guys. Then we're going to do a big old clean out. You guys get to see everything we have collected over the last few years of our incredible adventure. So don't go away. Oh my goodness. Look at all of this gorgeous, beautiful gold. I cannot believe how much that mill table cleaned this up. Look at the chunks. Look at all that powder gold. Absolutely beautiful. And majority of what you see there is what Brandon picked up last Sunday. And boy, was he right to call me, because he was coming across all this right there. That was the majority of what was sitting in that snuffer bottle. So we're going to turn around and dry this up. We're going to turn around and take all that, add that to these beautiful 4 that you see right there. That red one's already dried up, set to go. And those other 3 have to be dried up. There's a bunch of gold still stuck in there, and that's from 23 all the way up to 25, guys. So it's time for the close. What an absolute beautiful finale to our gorgeous run on our mill table. I cannot believe how much is just sitting right here in that gravity trap pan. It's going to take me a while to get all that picked out as best as I can, get that weighed up, and I will share that in our community post page. So please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification button. Once again, my name's William. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.